My family didn't invite me to my own father's funeral, so I showed up anyway and exposed the real reason he died. I'm a hospice nurse and have been estranged from my family for 8 years. My mother runs the family like a Fortune 500 CEO, and my brother and sister are her loyal board members. I was always the difficult one who asked questions about Dad's drinking and his early dementia. When I pushed for him to get real help instead of hiding it from the community, they labeled me disloyal and cut me off completely. Years later, I find out my father died through a Facebook post from his golf buddy. Not a phone call from my mom, not a text from my brother or sister. The notification pops up while I'm eating cereal at 6 a.m., and I just stare at my phone like it's speaking a foreign language. The post says he passed suddenly and peacefully. Yeah, and I'm the Queen of England, so I do what any reasonable person does and call the funeral home pretending to be my sister. My voice is shaking, but I pull it off. I find out the funeral is in 3 days and they're cremating him immediately after. My anxiety crawls along my skin as I remember my father was terrified of cremation. He had a prepaid burial plot next to his parents that he'd shown me when I was a kid, made me promise I'd make sure he got buried there. I pull up the death certificate online. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. Except my father didn't have heart problems. My chest feels tight and I'm pacing around my apartment like a caged animal. I call his doctor, perks of being a nurse, and she sounds uncomfortable the second I mention his name. She tells me the family took him off his medications 6 weeks ago, against medical advice. They kept canceling appointments, said they'd handle his care at home. My heart is pounding so loud I can barely hear her. I dig deeper, pulling county records at 2 in the morning because sleep is impossible now. I find his will. 4 months ago, Dad changed it to split everything equally among all 3 kids, including me. Before that, it left everything to Mom and the golden children. I'm going to be sick. I run to the bathroom and dry heave over the toilet because the math is mathing and I don't like where it's going. I find Dad's neighbor on Facebook, message her, and she responds within minutes like she's been waiting for someone to ask. She tells me that Dad was asking for me constantly those last few weeks. He was confused and asking why I wouldn't visit. Mom told everyone I refused to see him, that I was too busy with my little nursing career. I call in a favor with a friend at the hospital and get Dad's final blood work. When I walk through the funeral home doors, Mom's grief mask shatters into panic. She's mid-eulogy, sobbing about being by his side until the end. I walk over. My father didn't die of a heart attack. He died because you took him off his medications and drugged him instead. The church goes silent. 4 months ago, Dad changed his will to split everything 3 ways. 2 weeks later, you started feeding him smoothies laced with crushed sedatives, mixed with dementia medication. I have the blood work right here showing overdose levels. Uncle Frank grabs the papers, his face collapsing as he reads. You can't prove anything, my brother shouts. My sister breaks down sobbing. It isn't like that. He was in pain. I told them it was wrong. Shut up! Mom lunges at her. The police investigated and the autopsy confirmed that Dad had extreme liver failure and must have been in incredible pain. But what my family gave him wasn't to help. It was a fatal drug interaction consistent with prolonged medical neglect and deliberate overdose. Mom was arrested and my brother and sister might be charged as accessories. The will was honored and right now I'm the only one able to spend any of the money.